福分，中央人民政府今天胜利了。
但是你们能不能？
刚才问我啊，我可以回半点去，无可奉告。我也不高兴。
哎，什么叫中国共产党啊？党叫干啥就干啥。
黑夜即将到，一定要做好准备。
是。干死共产党！干死共产党！不干死共产党，绝不罢休！
消灭中共是正义的需要。
Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Exposing the CCP, and good to see you again, our friends. So next week is going to be Thanksgiving in the United States. We wish everybody have a happy, healthy, and safe Thanksgiving. So please stay with your family and enjoy the time with them. But also at the same time, it will be a great opportunity to spread the truth about the CCP. Hopefully, you're going to help them to understand the importance of taking down the Chinese Communist Party. And today we're going to continue to expose more truth about the CCP. And welcome our dear friends, Mr. Chu and Chris. Good to see you too also.
And hi, Z and Mr. 007. Thank you to invite me to be on the show again today. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Z. Hello, our dear friends and fellow fighters. Welcome to our show. Thank you. Back to you, Z.
Yes, excellent. And also, just a little heads up, we're gonna pause for next week because I have to go to spend some time with family. So hopefully you as well and enjoy holiday time. And now let's get started. Let's watch the first video from Miles School, of course, and he has exposed the plan of the Chinese Communist Party back in 2018. It's been 7 years. And in the beginning, a lot of people didn't trust him, said, yeah, this plan sounds crazy. Is CCP that crazy? And we'll look into it, and we'll be right back for more discussion. So please play the video. Thank you.
After he came to power, President Trump has 3 critical moves. His ultimate goal is very simple: to disintegrate communism. That's for sure, to dismantle communism. The trade war he started is not only just against China, but against the whole world. That's for sure. Another thing is that he will definitely resolve all the confrontations between North Korea, China, Russia, and Iran in the West. So, everyone should follow the Trump-Kim meeting. If he succeeds, China will immediately face a stronger President Trump in all aspects, including military encirclement and suppression, and even war is possible. If he fails to resolve it, he will go after Iran. After resolving Iran's issue, he will have to come after China. This outcome is basically unchangeable. unless there is a possibility of a change of President Trump's administration. What is the other nature of the Trump-Kim meeting? Now, the contest between China and the West is equivalent to that among international powers. It is also a contest between the Futures Belt and Road Initiative and the West. Now, many things, including the choice of Singapore as the meeting place of the Trump-Kim meeting, are fundamentally related to the energy supply of the Strait of Malacca and the Belt and Road Initiative. The outcome is very simple. The Trump-Kim meeting cannot change the confrontation between the East and the West. China has now given up hiding its true intention to become the hegemon. China's westward and international expansion of the Belt and Road Initiative, coupled with its ambition for energy, may lead to a war between China and the West. This is absolutely impossible to change the course unless China has a new government. A cooperative and comparable system can cooperate with the West. It only happens when there is a relationship in which both sides can coexist peacefully.
Sorry, this video clearly shows, it might as well expose the detailed plan about CCP, what plan they to do, and he also predict that President Trump is going to stop it, and that everything is happening right now. We can see that the CCP have rolled out all kinds of tactics against the world, including all kinds of the rare earth and the virus, economic bombs, everything. So we're gonna let's get into the discussion. So Chris, first let's go to Chris, and what's your opinions and takeaway on this video?
Okay, so the video mentions 3 critical moves in 2018. So the first is using the trade war to dismantle the CCP's layout, as well as to dismantle the globalist layout in the world. That's why it mentions not just against China, but against the whole world. This does not mean being enemies with the world. Here, whole world can be understood as globalist and globalizations, which means dismantling the world communist organizations' international monopoly and exploitation of the world, and weakening the CCP's economic foundations. That's why there was the U.S.-China trade agreement that year. And globalists and the CCP have a relationship of both cooperation and competitions. Globalists think they can control the CCP, but ultimately the CCP will not be willing to be controlled by the globalists. The CCP has always had its own plan to exterminate the whites. And the second is to resolve geopolitical confrontations. President Trump will resolve all conflicts between North Korea, Russia, Iran, and others with the West. Instigate the defection of CCP members, gradually isolating the CCP. Back then, bad advisors around President Trump, such as those like Bolton, tried to deceive President Trump into believing that North Korea's Kim Jong-un would absolutely never engage with American leaders. However, President Trump proved these bad advisors wrong through the Trump-Kim summit. There was also the situation around Iran. Bad advisors like Bolton provided President Trump with false intelligence, but President Trump communicated directly with local commanders. The local commanders directly suggested the locations that need to be bombed, as well as key figures. Later, the assassination of Soleimani was successfully carried out, which also prevented sacrifices among local US troops. Then, through the G20 summit, he met with Putin. All of this was a step-by-step dismantling the CCP's international allies, ultimately forcing the CCP to sign the US-China trade agreement. A third is a kinetic war and the ultimate dismantling of the CCP. Ultimately, through a kinetic war, eliminated the CCP, thereby dismantling globalism and ending the influence of the Communist International. However, the third point was also delayed due to the CCP's release of the CCP virus that year, as well as the CCP's election theft in 2020. But all of this is just a delay. It does not mean dismantling the CCP won't happen in the future. So now we are in the future. Now we have arrived in 2025. Mega has endured the 4 years of election theft by the CCP, won the US presidential elections for the third time. This time, we can see President Trump intensifying his effort to advise to advance policies. The original trade war dismantled the CCP's layout, and it has now expanded to using tariffs to help allies into cooperating with the United States, dismantling the CCP's allies around the world. There has been more progress in resolving geopolitical confrontations. For example, ending 8 geopolitical disputes within 8 months. It also allowed the CCP to witness the strength of the US military, as well as the solid US-Japan alliance, the unity of the first island chain, the kinetic war and dismantling of the CCP that did not occur back then. This year, it has made the CCP understand not to use kinetic war to threaten the United States and other countries. Whether in South America, the Asia Pacific, or the Middle East, the US kinetic war capabilities are something the CCP is afraid of. Currently, in order to focus on dealing with the CCP, the United States is sorry. So the United States is handling 3 fronts. The purpose is to clean up internal corruptions, repair the electoral system, and pursue the truth about the virus, thereby decoupling from the CCP. The first is to clean up the internal swamp in the United States, the anti-Trump factions within both parties, the traitors who sold out America and harmed Americans during President Trump's first term and also Biden's term from the stolen election, as well as pro-CCP media such as CNN and BBC, and people bought off by the CCP. These forces must be severely cracked down and can no longer hide behind legal protections to harm America. The second is to repair the constitutional and electoral systems, improve legal ballots, and modernize voting method to prevent election fraud, while thoroughly investigating the masterminds behind it. This is a national level crime, and not a single one can be let off. The third is technology and the truth about the CCP virus, ensuring that AI does not develop into a dictatorial mode, and that competition in the technology field cannot be lost to the CCP. Uncovering the source of the CCP virus, holding CCP accountable, decoupling from the CCP, restoring the U.S. economy and making the democratic rule of law system truly credible. These three new fronts will be fully opened, and it is hoped that the NFSC will ultimately receive official recognitions from the United States, rebuilding the bridge in U.S.-China relations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris, for laying down some of the fundamental information in this video. I think this is very important. You know, the core is to take them down. There's multiple approaches that Mao School has and FSC has suggested. And I'm happy that Donald Trump, although not taking all of them yet, but step by step, and if all these tactics are going to work very soon, and the CCP should collapse. Okay, now we go to Mr. Truth for more elaboration and details, please. I think you're still on mute, Mr. Chu.
Hi. Thank you, Zee and Chris, for laying a good foundation and information about the process ending aimed at take down the CCP. Okay, CCP, we have seen through his One Belt, One Road, and the coronavirus, and BGY, and the 13579 plan, together with the United Front, and the infiltration of almost every aspect of United States, from military to DOJ, and also to to those illegal aliens and so on. So what we're seeing is it has been a consensus where in the United States and the global community with so-called the MAGA and also conservatives movements, and the CCP must be taken down. That now I think there's an awakening process, of course, and the world has come to that point. So if since Chris have sort of described the whole process from 7 years ago when Mao School in the video when Mao School put the narratives there and described how multiple strategies, especially involved in the unrestricted warfare, So we can come here and comfortably seeing that the world anti-CCP movements led by the United States, okay, and also Five Eyes, plus the Taiwan and the Japanese, the new prime minister's movements, all that together, I think, despite we see the CCP trying to show with his diplomacy, which is tend to be so aggressive, and they even threaten to cut some one's head off. Okay, the Japanese new elected prime minister, but we see that it's basically a bluff from the CCP, as they always apply that strategy to what to try to impress people inside China. They say, "Hey, we're still in control of it." But indeed, when Trump said that if you're gonna, if you involved in the Southern China Sea in war with Japan, and we're gonna drop a bomb in Beijing, and then, CCP never dared to say we're gonna cut your head off, Mr. President Trump. See, that showcase, which indicated it is a old strategy they used. It's just propaganda and bluffing. But it shows how verbally how violent and brutal they are. They're not really sticking on the rule of law and the etiquettes that they applied in the diplomatic community. Okay, of course, because they're so eager to trying to persuade or impress the Chinese people. But you see, if you look at the social media, and you don't see that. I mean, now the Chinese people mostly waking up. These little red opinion leaders, they're not really follow the CCP's call anymore, but more you see the comment basically just become very sarcastic and also trying to turn down the voice of the CCP and doesn't really believe what they're trying to say. So I think we have gone so far now, the movement of taking down CCP in the West, especially in the United States, is not going to be stopped. I think we're just waiting to a moment where the CCP continue to challenge the U.S.-China trade agreement. That's the key thing. And while President Trump applied the tariff into all the sanctioned, like for example, export from oil from Russia, okay, and also from by India and by other countries. So you can even including European countries. So I think there has been more united front against the CCP through Europe, okay, and but although there are some things we see which is a little bit strange in the intelligence community, like just the UK and the BBC, and they may say something different, but we know they are deeply bejoined by the CCP's infiltration. Okay, so because nothing can be 100%. I think within the complexity of global politics, every country have its own interest, and also the level of infiltration is all different, and the CCP is so they have planned so long trying to kill the white. They have really planned so long. Every 5 years, they advance themselves through technology, also through Wall Street and the and the capital as well. So, but if you only really pay attention to know what is the economy like in China, once the tariff started, the economy has been so bad. It has never been. Most of the cities, property prices have gone halved in the major cities, but some second-tier cities and counties, they're suffering. All the I think the so-called property economy is totally collapsed. I mean, no one is buying, but there's still so many extra houses have been built, new houses, and some of them, my friends, construction, they sold about 50% since 2020, 5 years ago, but the rest of that, the 45%, it's very hard to sell still. So still, in a way of property, really, it's about finance, right? So I think they are triangular loans and the capital owing. So the whole economy is in idle, but you see massive amount of employment, also people suffering, with also the CCP pushing extra revenue from global, from the organ harvesting businesses. And we see that Xi Jinping openly said to Putin, they live 150 years, right? So by what? But we've got so many organ harvesting businesses here. You can match any organs biologically, so you have less side effects. So yeah, I think we never seen such a explosion of information through, of course, global media, especially through internet media like X, and as well as Getter. Okay, we see so many great programmers and the presenters are really bring some fantastic results comes. But so in once we know what the CCP is doing with the unrestricted warfare against the West, okay, and then we'll know what to do with it. And I think everything to me, it seems under control. It's just my personal opinion. And the CCP will be taken down, number one, because the domestic fighting between different factions of the CCP and the military and the old oligarchs, and also that the unemployment is such a level where it's almost unbearable. So people will start a revolution. I think that's also the breaking down of the system will start within any time, any moment. So what we need to do, really, everyone just continue exposure to the CCP, and see the details of how evil they are, and then let people wake up to the nature and not to really falling to the BGY, the honey traps and so on. So not make a mistake on the Western side, either culturally, financially, economically, and the investment, the technology, okay, and just protecting your interest, make your own country great every day. And then I think the CCP they're going to be decoupling with the global supply chain of the Earth crisis. You will see CCP will not adhere into the agreement signed. They already cheated cheated the United States for I think for the last 10 years, and they just done it again right in front of the community. I think people, even main medias, are exposure how they have no credibility. So once enough is enough, I think with something will inevitably happen where result the CCP be taken down, erased out of this globe, and then we can rebuild again. Thank you. Back to you, Z.
Thank you very much, Mr. True, for providing this such a positive and encouraging feedback. I'm pretty sure, right now the economy, everything is struggle, and although more and more people are realizing the importance of taking down the CCP, but it's still just within the small group of American. We gotta spread the truth about the CCP and help more people to understand the importance of that. And I hope with all our efforts and the CCP ideology will no longer exist on this earth, and that's a very promising phenomena. Okay, so now I think time probably to wrap up. We're at 30 minutes, and Chris and Mr. True, again, you have a couple more minutes to elaborate a bit more and share more thoughts and maybe some wishes to our audiences. Let's start with Chris again, and then Mr. True.
Okay. So I think that today's Japan is no longer the militaristic Japan of the past. During the World War II, Japan has the determination and also strength, with even greater power than before, whether in economic or military. And it is a rule of law and democratic country now. Japan is not afraid of the CCP's threat. The Japan that the CCP fears has awakened. Japan, Taiwan, the United States, Philippines, and South Korea. The cooperation in the First Island chain will steadily advance the process of taking down the CCP. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Chris. So we see the Trumps have hold the movements could spark a global showdown and targeting the communism's collapse. And we will see China on the West with wins. It's ultimately, a losing battle for the CCP. You can see it. Okay. So let's hope these days of the CCP be taken down very soon. Thank you for watching. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, both of you. Again, next week will be Thanksgiving. We wish everybody have a safe and healthy and happy Thanksgiving with their family. Family is our number one. The CCP doesn't really worship God. They hate family. They don't promote all these goodness, wellness for this, but New Federal State of China, and I believe also everybody, our audiences, will do. So we wish everyone have a happy and Thanksgiving, and we'll see you the week after. Thank you again, Mr. True and Chris, for helping with the program, and thank you, Director. And we'll see you next time. Please stay tuned, and we'll take down the CCP together.
Take down the CCP.
Take down CCP. Thank you.